Hello YouTube, Team Lockhart here, doing a deck profile of my anti-meta beast control, because it's been a while since I did a deck profile to it, and when I did it last time and I put it up in some groups, a lot of people were like, hey, I like this. So, I decided, since I haven't done a deck profile in a while, and since I did make some changes to it, I figured, you know what, maybe I should do another deck profile, show what changed, explain for all the people who haven't seen the original deck profile before. And okay, right off the bat though, I am going to retire, not get rid of, I'm going to keep the deck exactly how it is. I'm just going to retire it after the battle pack to play Dark Worlds, and the reason being is because there's something missing. There's another reason I posted it. If you have any ideas of what can help, like give it that missing link, please feel free to comment. And it's very good. Okay, it's if you need something at locals that's cheap and efficient that you're gonna go X1 with, and if you're good against the majority of matchups, you know what? Run this deck. But if you want to win a YCS, this isn't the deck that's gonna do it. That's just how This is how this deck is gonna. This is how this deck is, and the reason being is matchups. Now you're probably wondering what matchups. Meta, it's Chaos Dragons. This deck just can't compete with Chaos Dragons. It's too much. Unless you draw Phoenix Chains and you draw all your side deck, it just can't compete. Another thing is rogue matchups. Those are the matchups I've had trouble with, because I've made this deck solely to beat meta. And at my locals, at anyone's locals, you're gonna get rogue matchups, and that's what's beating this deck. Like I lost to what's that card? Herald of Perfection. I lost to that, but I've always lost to that. That deck just pisses me off. And then I lost to Ninja, Dino, Heretics. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know it was Heretics the game too. So that was just a whole mess. So, but it's being Dino Rabbit and Insectors and Heroes. So it's weird. It can beat Heroes and Insectors and Dino Rabbit, but it can't be random rogue shit. That's the issue I had. So I'm gonna do a side deck too. So let's get to the deck profile. I'll explain everything. So one thing that has not changed are my 3 Super Nimble Mega Hamsters and my 3 Raikou. Now you run these to swarm your field. Raikou gets stuff in your graveyard, and I will do the grave why you want stuff in your graveyard next. And Hamster gets him on it, and just really good to just possess your field. And one really good thing you can open up with is one of each of these guys, because you can set him, flip Raikou, set Raikou, next turn to Shoei 2, get 6 in the grave, and go into Gotcha Gotcha. And possibly go into another Utopia, depending on what you mill with Raikou. So that's mainly field control. This is more a graveyard. You play 2 Chain Dog. What he does is when there's 2 beast type monsters on the field, you special summon him from the grave. And you have a cute little combo you can do with Flame Tiger. And you can special summon him from the graveyard when you have no monsters on your side of the field, and you skip your draw phase by doing that. So you can go Flame Tiger, normal summon, Chain Dog, XYZ with these 2, because they get banished when they're removed from the field by their effects. But if you XYZ, they just go straight back into the grave for more shenanigans. And one of the new cards I added for graveyard control, because I don't know why I didn't play this card before, but was it Zephyros? Now, you pay 400 and you return 1 face-up card on your side of the field to your hand. Special summon him from the grave. He's a level 4, so he can XYZ pretty easily. And there have been a lot of times playing this deck where I've had Dead Fiendish Chains and Dead Horn of the Phantom Beast, because I'm about to XYZ summon, let's say with Flame Tiger, and he has a Horn of the Phantom Beast on him. I don't want that to go to the grave, so what do? You put Horn back in your hand and you summon Zephyros, and then if maybe you can go into Marine Strike, which I don't have at the moment, but I'm looking for it. That's the one cards I'm missing with this deck. Then you play 2 X-Saber Orbellum. That's mainly for synchroing, and it's also really good with hand control, because if they torrential your field, if you open up him and Hamster, what's what I like about this deck too is a lot of different things you can do depending on what you get with a Hamster combination. Okay, so you draw Hamster, you set Hamster. When you flip it, if they TT, then you bring out him, and then you get rid of that. You either make him waste a D prison, and then you get play Forbidden Lance, or you get rid of a card in their hand. And a lot of people will do when I summon this, they'll have to use Effect Failure. So that's an Effect Failure. Now I can use my Raikos on my hamsters. Speaking of Effect Failure, you play 2 because you play 3 Feet in the Chain, so you only need 2 Valor. Now this was a card that a lot of you guys said, like, hey, what about this card? This card's pretty good. Double A Fighter, and this card is really good because, like, I was a little skeptical. I was like, I don't know, it's just kind of like a beat stick, but then I was playing with this deck, and this was when I was running King Tiger and Wanghoos, and I never wanted to summon King Tiger because it was never his. It was too situational of a card. This card's not situational at all. I needed a beat stick instead of King Tiger. King Tiger's been completely phased out of this deck just for its inconsistency. So that's the monsters. Oh, and another thing this guy can do, it gets rid of T-King, which was a major issue with this deck. A lot more of an issue than I thought. If someone opens up T-King against you, because you play triple duality, and you don't like T-King. T-King's not your friend. So, you use triple pod duality because you don't really special summon on your turn unless you're going to synchro. 3 MST, so you can do your thing. I've considered only playing 2 and taking 1 out for just some other stuff that might be useful. 2 Forbidden Lances, so you can save your monsters from getting gone. Now, if you did notice, I took out Green Baboon of the Forest just because I wasn't really working. Dark Hole, these are staples at this point. Monster Reborn, Book of Moon, Mind Control because it's really good with XYZ and Syncoin. It's a misprint, by the way. And another card that you guys suggested that I decided to add was Scapegoat. It just works really well with the stall factor. Now for the traps, Triple Horn of the Phantom Beast. You're playing everything is beasts except Baylor and Zephyros. Triple Fiendish Chain because it stops everything. Double Bottomless because it removes everything. And then 1 Road and 1 Warning. Protection because there's a very good chance you have 2 monsters on your side of the field. And Solemn Judgment is a staple in every deck. Now for the extra deck. Well, for level 5s, we have 1 Thunder Unicorn and 1 Justice Catastrophe. Catastrophe is good in a lot of situations, don't get me wrong, but he's better in so many situations as well, because if your opponent has a beat stick, if your opponent gorges you, Thunder Unicorn's your best bet, because I'll read its effect. Once per turn during your main phase, you can select 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 500 attack for each monster you control, which is usually like 2. On average, it's 2, so they lose 1,000. Until the end phase. During the turn, this card is activated. No other monsters can attack except him, and he's 22. And so, if you need to just weaken a guy down, you go with Thunder Unicorn. You play 1 level 6 since you rarely go into him, so you gotta pick Brio. For level 7s is Black Rose, where you need to blow up the field, and Voltic Bicorn for everything else. Mill 7 when it's destroyed by battle or by an opponent's card effect. Really good, can fuck up certain decks. It's a 25 basic too. Double Stardust for the 8. Double Stardust and Scrap for the 8. You really go into 8s, so like these are the 2 staple. One of them's for Starlight Road, the other 2 are just staple. For level 9s, 1 Mistworm. Amazing card. Now for the XYZs, you go into Gachi, because Shining Elf is garbage. And Gachi's amazing. You play 1 rank 3, you play Zenmans. I play this just... You shouldn't play rank 3s in here, honestly. If I had a Marine Strike Drake, it would be a Marine Strike Drake instead, but... Alas, I've been able to go into Zenmans a couple times. It's been really awesome. It's pissed people off. For rank 4s, you got Maestro. This card is a rank 4 Gachi. It's so good. Photon Butterfly Assassin. I love this card since the moment I saw it. Everyone's jumping on its dick now, but 1 Utopia, since you really only need 1. And 1 Utopia Ray for the times when you desperation. And Mind Control like a bitch. Now for the side deck. I still need 1 card for my side deck. 2 chain disappearance for the Insector Dino Rabbit matchup. Triple Shadow for Dragons, Insectors, Dark World. 2 Mask of Shit because Evils are seeing more play and so are Heretics. I mean, it's not the best against Evils, but I mean, if you don't need certain cards in your deck for certain matchups, you should always take them off of something that's slightly better, and that's what I usually do for Mask of Shit. 2 Crows, because Crow, I like Crow. I used to hate Crow, but now he's just good. 1 Deep Prison, just because you like random shit. 1 Fairy Wind, for stuff like Skill Drain, and just anything else with face up spells and traps. It's really good. If you actually watched my videos on my channel, you should know that card. This is going to be a second close forest when I get it. This stops Dark Worlds. Basically, this and Shadow Mirror, it's game over. And then Double Torrential. I put this in. I was real skeptical about it, but I put it in just because the deck needs help against dragons. It really does. And 6 Sam. 6 Sam suck too. So this is my anti-meta base control deck. Like I said, there's just something missing. I'm this close to figuring out. I'm still playtesting a shitload with it, so I'll figure it out eventually. And when that comes, you'll see the deck. I've tried Plague Spreader. I don't like Plague Spreader. It just doesn't work for me. Unless you go into Brio, but you don't really have hand control to go into Brio. So really, that's why level 6 synchro, especially Brio is the level 6 synchro. So Brio, it really doesn't matter because you're always gonna set the traps you have, and you're always gonna set the monsters you have late game. So unless you can bring it out turn 2 and win turn 4, it's useless. The only thing that's good about it is you can go into 2 gotchis. But that's really it. And but like I said, you don't have usually the card you can put back on top of your deck for it. So that's pretty much it. That's my deck. Like, comment, subscribe. Watch my duel videos with it. I have a couple. And I apologize. I don't get to put up the best duels, by the way. I'm gonna do a close up. I usually just record the first match I play in, and then not record the rest. I've had a lot of good duels on Dueling Network. I just haven't recorded. So like, comment, subscribe. Team the Lockharts out.